Hello, this is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I am here to answer your immigration related questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments now. All right, so go ahead. Now I'm focusing today on questions. We've had a very good week here at ST Law Office. And we are continuing to work to make sure that our clients are safe and protected here. And so I also want to be able to be here to answer questions, to help you with any doubts that you may be having, any issues that you may be having. Keep in mind, this is not personalized legal advice, though. This is general information that is meant to help guide you on the general way of doing things. But ultimately, you need to make sure that you seek personalized help. This firm, ST Law Office, we are here for that. So go ahead, put your questions in the comments. Happy Friday, everybody, and happy Mother's Day to those of you who are celebrating Mother's Day for this Sunday, whether you're celebrating your mom or others are celebrating you as a mother, or you're doing both. Happy Mother's Day and happy Mother's Day weekend. It's a blessing to be a mother, and it really is truly an inspiration. If you're a mother, you know that the driving force of everything, well, the driving force of everything I do is based on being a mother. I said to my sister the other day that I never really started to take bold risk in life until I actually had my son, because he had such an impact on me that I knew that things that I was scared to do, I had to do in order to better our lives, to be able to make sure I'm creating a better world for my son. And so that is what being a mother does. It drives us to do things we never thought we were capable of doing. And because of that, I would say being a mother is the closest thing to being a superhero. So I celebrate you. Go out there and pat yourselves on the back and make sure you take this weekend to accept all the love and appreciation that you're getting as a mother. I know I represent my clients too, and they are my inspiration too, because the lengths I see they go to make sure that their children are safe, to make sure they're unified. It's many of us really have to only imagine. We can't even imagine what mothers go through to ensure the safety of their kids and the unity of their families. So let's celebrate. Let's celebrate motherhood. Motherhood, that makes the world better. That basically populates the world. So give yourselves pats on the shoulders, celebrate yourself. We celebrate you. All right. So now, happy Friday, Chi. Um, so put your questions in the comments. I am answering questions. Okay, so what about same sex marriage? Has it been affected by the recent leadership? No. So, same sex marriages they're not denying immigration benefits to those who are in same sex marriages. I can relate. Oh, yes, I can relate. Exactly. I know you can relate. It's this a thing that we have as the common thread we have as mothers is the inspiration that our children give us. So thank God for mothers. Absolutely. Hello, I'm in a little over 2 years since VAWA application, just got my renewed EAD. How much longer will I have to wait to get my VAWA approved? I'm in Florida, so I would say possibly another year to a year and a half. Hopefully, the processing times don't get longer. We've been hopeful, and so far the processing times uh, have been the same for the most. Actually, we got a work permit in a family-based case in 2 months, which usually is 3 to 6 months, but we got it in a shorter period of time. So is there any updates for EB2 NIW? No, not at this time. What about, let's see. Any new updates for EB2? So the NIW, National Interest Waiver? No, no. Happy Mother's Day to you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Samuel. Thanks for being there for us. I thank you for your time. And please, may I know the approval time for T visa work permit currently? So right now, I would say it's probably going to be about 8 months to a year after, and that is from the time that the application is filed. Um, that work permit that you're supposed to get while you wait, it can take anywhere from 8 to 12 months now that I'm observing. And then keep in mind that if you're approved, you get your work permit, and that can take, if you're actually approved on the T visa, it's taking 12 to 18 months. How long does a green card get to your mail after adjustment of status through T visa? So it should take about 2 weeks to a month. So make sure you're keeping tabs on it. It's been almost 2 months and they still have not had the receipt for the filing. So Chi, I have a friend who's a green card holder, got married to his wife, who is here on TPS. In filing for her, he filed the form I-130 online, then later filed the green card and work authorization. It's been 2 months. They still have not had the receipt. So we're not seeing that with family base. We are seeing the receipt notices come very quickly. As a matter of fact, I just said we got a work permit within 2 months of filing the application. However, in cases where it's taking 2 months, it could be one of two things. It could be either they're about to return it, they're going to reject the packet and return it because maybe something isn't right in there. They found an error that where they have to reject it, or they're backed up, and it's being held up. So I'm in Florida and I want to open a restaurant. I need two chefs to work in the Florida. How it take to get work permit for them in Jamaica and the other in Philippines. So this you'll definitely need to contact us. There are ways. So if you're looking to get them, now you don't get work permits for them here. So if they're here in the United States and they're without status, getting a work permit for them is not going through employment, through employing them is not probably going to be the option here. So, but we need to talk to you because we need to understand what are your needs. Are your needs on a seasonal basis? If it's on a seasonal basis, that would be more so an H-2B visa. Those are for seasonal workers. If it's on a more permanent basis, then you're looking at sponsoring them for permanent residents. So it really depends on the qualifications, as well as your needs at the restaurant and where are they? What's their current immigration status? Now, if they're outside of the United States, they can apply for a visa, and it depends on what your needs are. The visas can take months to maybe even over a year, depending on what you choose to apply for. So give us a call, schedule your appointment, and then we can definitely talk about your options. Good day. How long asylum seeker get a work permit after 150 days? So 30 days after the 150 days, as long as you've applied on time. It's not automatic. You have to apply for the work permit. How long does it, let me see. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you. My brother has been living in the US on a B1 visa almost 1 year now and married to a US citizen. Is there anything he should be worried about since he has started his I-130? So, unfortunately, he cannot be living on his B1, especially for a year. There's no B1 visa on this planet that gives anybody 1 year permission to be here. Usually, the maximum stays 6 months. So, he's probably overstayed his visa already. If he's married to a U.S. citizen, though, and he's currently applying for adjustment of status along with the I-130, then it means he's going through a process, and he doesn't have to worry because he's going through the process to be able to get his legal status at this point. But I don't know him personally, and this is where it's very important to get legal guidance, because has he filed? I see you here saying I-130. Has he filed adjustment of status? The adjustment of status is going to be just as essential as the I-130 in order to ensure that he does get his papers here. Um, and because if he files the I-130 without the I-485, they're not going to give him his green card while he's here in the US, and he will be at risk. Any idea if Trump will reduce the validity of EAD from 5 years to 1 year? I wouldn't be surprised. He did it the last time, and so it probably is a matter of time until he does it again, just to create even more administrative frustrations for immigrants. So, we have to definitely keep our hopes up, be optimistic, but I would not be surprised if that comes. That's something that's on my list of potential changes that could be coming as a result of this new administration. But right now they're busy, invoking all sorts of unlawful policies to detain immigrants. So they're so busy with that right now that maybe that's further down on their list. So, and this is where, guys, I'm saying if you qualify for something, get on it, because the EADs that are being issued for 5 years now, those will not be affected by the reduction in the validity of the work permit if he does it. So this is where I say you have to be very aware of potential changes that could be coming, and to make sure that you're acting as quickly as possible so you are ahead of those changes. Because those of my clients that have now the 5 year work permit, they don't have to worry. They're still going to have a valid work permit for the number of years it takes for them to be approved. However, those who apply later on and then he changes it will be issued a 1 year work permit. So keep that in mind. How much is the VAWA combo? So they don't have any filing fees at the USCIS. And for us, we have to talk to you. We have to ensure you qualify. And then we have to understand the facts in your case. And then we'll be able to provide you a quote. So get in touch with us. Do not wait. Don't wait. That's the number one thing I want to tell everybody here. We've been having successes, but we can only have those potential successes if our clients take action. If you don't take action, nothing happens, right? What is the you have to be in it to win it. If you are not taking action to be able to be successful, to be able to get legal status and stay legally here, it's never going to happen, and you're going to continue being at risk. So keep that in mind. Please, are EADs still coming? Okay, so I answered that. All right, so let me answer on TikTok, and then I'll go back to Instagram just to see if there are any additional questions. So put those questions in the comments. Received appointment for marriage-based green card. Is it necessary to have legal representation? No, here's the deal. It's never required. You could show up in court. If you say you were arrested, I mean, knock on wood, but it's just a scenario. Arrested and brought to court, right? would you defend yourself in front of a jury when your innocence was on the line? Or would you, at that point, make sure you have an attorney? Well, the same goes as it doesn't, that does not just apply to criminal cases, it applies to everything, right? You wouldn't show up before a judge and represent yourself. And if you're doing it, you're probably not doing it with a lot of confidence because you don't have that level of expertise. It's the same with immigration. So you can show up to that interview without legal representation. However, um, you may regret it if more complicated issues come up at the interview and you don't have that level of expertise or specialized knowledge to understand what's going on, right? That could be a pitfall. So go to the link in the profile and you'll see that I have a publication on preparing for the interview. I believe if you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a button to be able to access that publication. Sample interview questions, and I believe like a how to get to yes checklist, going through the marriage-based process. You can look at that. Now, keep in mind, it's not to be a substitute for legal representation or legal advice. It's just there as general guidelines based on my own experience as an attorney. You can look those over. You can use it to go over with your spouse to make sure the both of you are on the same page during the interview. I would say when it comes to the marriage-based process, the most important thing is you're answering the questions similarly. I've seen lapses or any kind of different answers being scrutinized to the point where they want to deny. So I've represented clients who have come to me and said they want to deny the application because they got a notice of intent to deny because they did not have a great interview. And then I had to step in to basically respond to the notice of intent to deny. So it gets more complicated at that point and definitely more stressful. So you can check it out. Check out that the publication I put out there. It can be very helpful. So if you've spoken to the office and you have a change in circumstances that you definitely want to raise, you can definitely get back in touch with us. But in the initial evaluation, that's what it's there for. But if you have a different circumstance, new facts, new information that you want to then get another evaluation, then you should do that, Nikki. um, you should definitely get back in touch with us to let us know. But the initial evaluation is there to let you know, are there any options that we can help you with? And we do that to ensure we're not wasting your time or money, that you when we see a possibility to provide you options, that we can take those actions. But we at the same time we want to ensure that, because there's a lot of people will say that that they don't want to then do an evaluation and then be paying for it not knowing what's going to happen. Well, this is the opportunity we give to people to find out if there are any options we can help them with before actually paying and scheduling with one of our attorneys. Why does work permit after bona fide determination letter take so long to be approved? That is life in general. That is life, our life in immigration in general. Work permits take long. So when it comes to VAWA, it's 6 to 12 months. When it comes to the T visa, this is a new program, and keep in mind that even behind the scenes, there's probably even pushback on issuing these work permits. So there are delays because of that. But that's a policy that they're supposed to issue those work permits. Will there be two separate letters for the work permit renewal? So I'm not sure what that means. Do I need to be divorced to get an I-751 waiver approved? one is divorce, the other is if you're being mistreated and you're separated from your spouse or you're abused, then you could apply whether you're separated, still married, or divorced. In that case, you wouldn't have to show that your marriage is legally terminated. And then the last one is if you can show extreme hardship in the case that you have to leave the country. So, for example, if you have maybe had US citizen children in the last 2 years since you were approved for your green card, and you've had stronger ties to the United States, that would make it extremely hard for you to go back to your country. You don't even have to show there that you have a bona fide marriage to get it. You just have to focus on the extreme hardships. But of course, these have to be extremely unusual hardships. So, meaning not your average hardships. But that is also an option for a waiver. It's best practice to apply for all the applicable waivers. So, if you filed for divorce, you've been mistreated by your spouse, and you'll experience extreme hardship, then you can go ahead and check off all those waivers and then provide proof of each. But this is where I say do not do it alone. Don't do it at home. Don't what this do DIY it. Make sure you're getting representation because this can get complicated. I have interview next week. My spouse ID is expired and she don't have any form of ID. So, that's a tough situation to be in. If she has her passport, that may be an option for her. If you are married to a green card holder, can you adjust your status without leaving the US? If here's the deal, if you want to stay in the US with your green card holder spouse, this does not apply to US citizen spouses, but green card holders. Here are the three things you need to make sure the requirements you're meeting. One, you need to make sure you're here and your visa is current. You haven't overstayed your visa before filing that application. Two, you have to make sure that you are waiting for a current priority date. So the current priority date will have to be, it's on the National Visa Bulletin, and it's like a wait list. Right now, it's taking about a year and a half to 2 years to get to the top of the wait list. So you'd have to consider your visa, whether your visa is going to allow you to stay as long as it takes to wait for your priority date to become current. So, actually, those are the two most important things that you have to ensure, right? When you're married to a green card holder, you need to make sure those two conditions match up perfectly before you're able to apply for the adjustment of status. Now, here's the other, well, I would say this is the third one. Make sure that you apply for adjustment of status before your time here expires. Because once your time expires, so once your priority date is current, because that means you're at the top of the wait list. And then it means that you can apply for adjustment of status as long as you are still maintaining your legal status based on the permission that you're given when you are coming in that says you can stay for 6 months. So make sure you meet those three conditions. And if you do, then the conditions could be right. But this is where we are here to help. We're here to break this down very simply for you and to give you a straightforward answer on whether you qualify. They accepted my application for the work permit renewal. I qualified for automatic extension. Will I get a letter stating that? So you should, in the receipt notice, if you read it, you would see that the extension is written into that receipt notice. So that receipt notice that you got, the original one, is actually the extension, proof of extension. So go ahead and read it, and you should see that it says automatic extension of 540 days. So in this case, I would say this: talk to your lawyer. So this is the person that does not have their ID. They don't have the passport or their any kind of ID. What I would say is you need to call them in advance. You need to let them know about the situation and see if they will accept any other forms of identification. We did that for one of our clients. So it's in your best interest to contact the local field office and see if they would be able to provide an accommodation. I want to get a national visa and green card. So I'm not sure what the national visa is, but yes, the green card. Get in touch with us. We can see if you can qualify for options. I request a waiver on my I-751 pending based on abuse that can show down my case or speed it up. So I would say right now the cases are running on the same timeline. I would say, is it a requirement? It's not which one is faster, because if you need to apply for a waiver, it's just required, and you don't want to try to see if the spouse is going to work it out, because ultimately what I see with spouses like that when they're abusive is they're not going to see you get to the end of your process. They could make things worse. So take action necessary to protect yourself, protect your rights, to have control over your immigration process. So does it slow it down? No. It runs at the same pace, but even then, would you want to risk your papers by doing it with somebody who's mistreating you? The risk could be higher there. All right. Okay, so now I'm on TikTok. Missed my eyes appointment in November. Can I still show up? So this is definitely something that I would not be able to answer on a live, you because yes, there understandably there are some issues with that. So definitely seek legal advice about how to proceed, what your risks are, what your rights are. I need to speak. So go ahead, put your question in the comments. T visa success rate. So far, we have not been seeing, on a whole, we have not been seeing any changes in the way they're processing the T visas and the policies. The policy manual has been the same. So I would say it's the same. Filed for T visa, did my biometrics, what's next? So bona fide determination. I applied marriage-based case on November 6, 2024, but I did my work permit and travel document yet. I applied marriage-based case. So if you So I'm not sure what this is saying. So if you applied for your marriage base, did you apply for the work permit or a travel document? You need to. If you did adjustment of status, then you can apply. What's the current processing time for parents filing for married child over 21? 5 to 7 years. So definitely, get in touch with us so we can talk about alternative options if they're here in the U.S. If they're outside of the U.S., you're looking at 5 to 7 years. My I-485 interview was the 11th of April. I-130 approved the same day. How long for I-485? It depends if they need something in addition. Usually, I would say the I-130 is the harder thing to get the approval on. If you have the approval on the I-130, that's half the battle. But with the I-485, is it that they need additional information? They may contact you for information. They may be doing additional checks on their back end. That's delaying the adjustment of status application. My friend is waiting for my friend is waiting on her green card through VAWA. She's waiting 4 years and 3 months. Is that normal? You have to look at the USCIS for the official processing time. So they have a range. And if you're outside of the range, then you can submit a case inquiry to see if they will move the case along. On average, I'm seeing about 3 years for the process. So it's not normal in this office for it to be 4 years and 3 months. But in the whole scheme of things, when you're looking at whether you can take action on it, then it's going to really be dependent on whether it's outside of processing times. What if your green card get denied because of affidavit? Then you probably have to refile. If you didn't qualify because of the affidavit of support, refile ASAP. Get in touch with us. This is what we help our clients with to ensure a smooth process. I'm a citizen who filed for my son who is 26 years old. How long will it take? 5 to 7 years. If they're here in the country without their papers, they need to look at alternative options because it's going to take 5 to 7 years. So it's not going to be something that's going to bring immediate relief to them. No. Good night. My VAWA case is past 42 months. What is the next step? So a case inquiry could be possible. A request to expedite based on the fact that there are no past processing times. And then, other avenues as well, just depending on what the facts in your case are. So, for example, to file a lawsuit, that could also be a possibility if you meet certain criteria. Have any of your clients completed the alien registry? Um, if so, any issues or feedback? So, the thing about this is my clients are applying for certain benefits. So because of that, many of them they're applying for benefits that they qualify for, so they do not need to register for the registry. So that's the good part about that's the advantage my clients have is that the government already considers them registered when they are applying for certain benefits here in the US. So I would say that it's not really something that a majority of my clients have to deal with because they have pending cases already and they consider that some of those, and it depends on the case type, but a majority of my clients are already considered registered. I'm a citizen who filed for my son. Okay, so my friend is waiting on her green card. So I answered that. What is the current processing date for parents filing for a married child? So I answered that. It's 5 to 7 years. So if they're here in the US, you need to make sure that they are evaluating other options because that's not going to be the best option. Are U visas moving fast? So I would say to get the work permit and bona fide, you're looking at 1.5 to 2 years. So no, it's not moving very quickly. But if it is a form of relief that you can qualify for, keep in mind that you have to invest now so that you can get the benefits of that relief in the future. If you never apply, you never get it. Okay. And then what may happen is you expose yourself to even more risk because you never made a move. So keep that in mind. Whether the processing times are slow right now, once you file it, it means that you can get some relief. How long does it take to get a receipt notice for T visas? Right now, we're seeing 2 weeks to 12 weeks. So it's taking a while. Make sure you're tracking your applications. If you're filing on your own, we do that for all our clients. We make sure that we track our clients' packet so we know it gets there. We see that an officer signs off for it, and that means that it's delivered. We can print the proof of delivery, and then we usually just know that we have a hunch then that things are just backed up at the USCIS. Okay, so hi, Ms. Sharifa. Hi there, Trudy. How much should you make per year to sponsor yourself to AOS through T status that was approved already? The good news is now you do not need an affidavit of support for this. So that's a good thing, is you're actually petitioning for yourself, and the affidavit of support is not required. Do you take a second marriage case where the beneficiary was denied because the petitioner withdrew his I-130? I'm now divorced. If I remarried, no, boyfriend can be refiled for me. Give us a call. This definitely, we want to first evaluate to make sure that we can take it. But we do help with cases like this. But you have to make the move to do the initial evaluation and then get started with us. So, how long now for T visa? My application was sent 13 months ago. So, I would say we're now on the 18-month mark. And keep in mind that none of us as lawyers control processing times. So, at the time that you filed it, it may have been 6 months, it may have been a year, but we also have to be prepared for changes that are occurring. And right now, I'm seeing that where processing times are getting longer. I'm seeing it more on the 18-month mark now. Hi there. Good evening, Judith. It's nice to see you. Asking for a friend, what is the processing time for EAD filed with I-45? It depends, VAWA 6 to 12 months. Um, if it's marriage family based or employment based, 3 to 6 months, and we just got one in 2 months. So my attorney is getting hard time to get U certification. What I have to do? So yeah, at the point where the U cert is denied, then it means you really cannot qualify for U. Other law enforcement agencies may consider a U certification because maybe one agency is denying it because they don't have jurisdiction. So it just depends on what's going on, what's the nature of the crime, who was the one who did the investigating or took the report or did the prosecution. So we'd have to understand the facts here. Um, but yes, you already have your attorney, and you should always defer to the advice of your attorney, for sure. After applying for work permit, how many weeks it takes to get receipt notice? So it could be 2 weeks, 2 to 12 weeks. All right, that's gonna be it for me. I know I see many questions coming in, but I'm going to go ahead and address more questions on Monday. I have to head out, but I will be back on Monday. So make sure you hold on to your questions. When I come back, go ahead and enter your question, and I will work to answer those questions on Monday. So keep following me, like, subscribe, share. Thank you for the love on TikTok, the gifts. Thank you. Continue to share this information. Continue to share with your friends. Like, subscribe, because that's how other people learn about the information that I come on here to share, and that can empower you and others in their immigration journey. And we do need to share our knowledge, share this information, so that you are aware of your rights and what you qualify for and how you can get relief. So go ahead, make sure you're doing that. And when I come on, you'll get notification, and then you can hop on as well, and we can talk and go through your questions. I can give you updates. Have a great night, everybody. Bye bye.